Good morning. Good morning and good morning. Well, today is another day, beginning another week. It's going to go fast. It's going to go really, really fast. And so I'm excited because this week is my production week. Um, if you ever watch Tabitha Brown, she's always talking about production, production. No one ever comes. That's because it all falls on you. And sometimes in your process of doing production, you really must say, "Is am I doing this all by myself?" So I might have to go to the point where I say no to something or somebody. So no, really short word, but like if, which I did, which I did on Friday, they have significant meaning. Okay, those words are they have just action to them. They mean something. Either good morning, Debbie. How are you doing? Look, Debbie, I bought myself some flowers um, only by way of being. Actually, they were given to me. I'm just being smart, but they were given to me by a young lady on Friday evening, and they're holding up just fine. And of course, I have them in my purple vase. Oh, I have to make sure I get it in here. The light is just kind of shining, kind of funny on it. But anyway, I sometimes you have to treat yourself. Good morning, Calithia. How are you? How are you? Thank you, thank you. They're yellow and pink, which are both of the colors I like, but my love is for what the color of the vase, which is purple. Purple means royalty. I feel that one day I will get my royal blessing. I don't know when it is. Good morning, Bill, my friend, my friend. I love you guys for coming in here and joining this time with me. It's a small period of time, but it really talks about sometimes today's session is sometimes we have to say no. We love our children, we love our spouses, we love our friends, we love our jobs. Some of us, we love our churches, we love. Okay. And sometimes we respond through the heart, but sometimes the head has another thing to say. Obligation. Good morning, Joan. Welcome back. How are you? Let me know. Let me know. Oh, see there? See, Debbie jumped right on it. How are you, Joan? So we have to look at our nose. Sometimes we say yes to everything before we realize that the calendar is full. Our time is already our own that we've given away. It's already obligated, and then it may be requiring our money. So many things happen with that word no, and some of us have real difficulty in getting it where it isn't something that we say often. We just don't say it often. It's hard. And I have to admit, I'm going to do my own admission this morning. It's hard for me to say no to many of the things that are given to me. And I don't know where that came from. I always just remember our parents were not parents who said no to much. They were always obligated, always doing community work and church work and working at jobs, and so they were always obligated. And so sometimes I feel compelled to do the same thing. But I found some things this morning that really kind of gave me reason to think about why I should say no, and I don't always do it. Um, but I found a poem, and it was written by Thomas Hood. And Thomas Hood was born in 1799. So it's not yesterday, the day before or the day before today. Okay, he wrote a long time ago. He died in 1875. But anyway, which actually made him a young man because he was only 46 when he passed away. But it's interesting to me because it talks about no sun, no moon, no morn, no noon, no dawn, no sky, no earthly view, no distance looking blue, no road, no street, no the other side the way, no end to any row, no indications where the crescents go, no top to any steeple, no recognitions of familiar people, no courtesies for showing them or knowing them, no traveling at all, no locomotion, no inkling of a way, no notion, no go by the land or ocean, no mail or no post, no news from any foreign coast, no park, no ring, no afternoon gentility, no company, no nobility, no warmth, no cheerfulness, no heart, no healthful ease, no comfortable feel in any member, no shade, no shame, no butterflies, no bees, no fruits, no flowers, no leaves, no birds. Interesting. He had no for everything because he said the essence of this poem is, and I wrote it down, was that it really meant that the month of November was a month of basically negativity. You know, it was equated with negativity. I'm thankful that Thanksgiving in the modern day has certainly raised up that idea that everything in November would be a negative. And it says it suggests that November can be perceived as a negative or a dark period since it lacks certain positive characteristics of humanity, sunshine, growth, and light. It does not expressively equate the month with negativity, but it was the period of time that went on that they were looking at. Wow, you know, the sun, the amount of sun available is lessened. The air changes from being maybe a warmer period to extremely cold, so it's just talking about those changes. And when we think of our own lives, sometimes we have trouble moving from what is maybe more positive side of us to the negative side, meaning that to say no would be negative. To say no would be a negative because people want you to always say yes. That's why they asked you. And a lot of times we do. It's not the same when you're not here. Oh, that's so cute that she wrote that. It says, so anyway, then I found a lighter poem. And it says, learn to say no. Say no to what's draining. Say no to what's unfulfilling. Say no to what's not loving. Say no to the muddy water that poisons you, even if that's all you know. It says, what you drank was not meant to be the nourishing well that gives you life. Surrender your cup. You will be free. It's good stuff. Surrender your cup. You can pull your cup away or give it to somebody else. Let somebody else do it. So therefore you can say no and be okay with yourself. But if you have trouble saying no, put it in the thread. I know I do. So I already said I know that no is difficult for me to say. A lot of times people can write me, call me and say, hey, Doc, can you do this? Can you read this? Can you do? And I do. And sometimes I have to admit that I volunteer, to help people. And that's just me. But sometimes when we're given something as a way to request something of us, we'll still give it away. Sometimes it's hard to say no and not feel guilty. That's it right there. That guilt part right there. Because sometimes they lay it on you thick. Oh, Mom, it's your kid. Oh, honey, it's probably your husband. Maybe somebody else is suiting you, a coworker. Oh man, I can't get this done without you. There you are. You're caught up in it. Because we lead a lot of times with our heart and not our head. We don't lead with our head all the time. A lot of times we're just, man, I can't let this fail. I can't let this not work. And so I'm going to help them. So we do. So anyway, what is no? But before I tell you what no is, I'm going to ask you, do you occasionally get stuck? Are you stuck on being able to say no? Will we say yes more than we say no? So anyway, no, it says that means not any. It says it is a negative response, which is what Hood was talking about. The fact that if you have all these no's in your life, you may have to just say, okay, I surrender what I need to surrender. I'm done with trying to fit in, be whatever it makes me important, or makes you love me, or care about me, or respect me, or befriend me. All of those things. A lot of times it's caught up in our feelings and how we think people feel about us. Depends on the situation. Okay, that's true. It says, so no, it says, is most certainly not, meaning I'm most certainly not, I will not do it. And it says, of course not. Under no circumstance will I do it. These are all the responses you could give. By no means necessary. Okay. It is negative. Never, nay, none, nah, not in this life, not in your life. No way I'm going to do that. It says not now, not ever, or nay, N-A-Y. So it really, it makes it comical when you think about how people have probably told you no, or you've told someone else no, ain't gonna do that. Or you may just say nope, nope, N-O-P-E, not gonna do it, not gonna do it. So when I break the word down, and I know Debbie always has my word, if I break the word down, no is a negative word. It even says it's in its description when you're reading about it. That's according to Merriam. Merriam-Webster says it's negative. It's a word or statement that expresses denial or in disagreement, okay, or it's refusal. A lot of times we don't want to say that we want to refuse anybody for doing something, but sometimes we need to in order to have our own balance. And the reason I thought this word was really great is that we're going into the period, to me, half of November and all of December into January 1st really calls on us for, parties and cooking and visitations and, just commitments, dances, all of those things. Nothing and nada. I knew you were going to put nada down there. Nincompoop. Oh my goodness. Necessity. Sometimes we do think that we have to be involved. It's a necessity. We just feel it, that's the obligation. So we end up doing stuff, even if we don't want to. How many of us after the holidays really need a week to regroup? Because we've done so much, for those 6 weeks, we've done a lot. Some of us may be traveling, next week. Is it next week Thanksgiving? Yeah, next Thursday? Yeah, next Thursday is Thanksgiving. Not this Thursday, a week from this Thursday. That means you may be traveling, you may be cooking, you may be cleaning, you may be doing all those things that are obligatory, and you may be entertaining. You may be having people in, or you're going to someone else's house, but you still have to take some food. So we realize that. So when it's negative, that means you're not going. It is refusal or rejection. And sometimes people don't take rejection very well, do they? They do not. They do not. It says it could be a veto. It says it could be a contradiction of what is expected of you, meaning you're always wonderful, always there. And then you tell them you're not coming. They're like, wait a minute now. We can't get this done without you. There's the guilt. Thank you, Debbie. And then there's also denial. It says that a negative is when you're in denial, that you can straighten out and tell somebody yes when you tell them no, but you really wanted to do it. So then it becomes your own personal negative. It's like, man, they really need this help. And I've done that where I've said no to people because I already had something, and I will stop doing the new thing or the thing that was already scheduled and go and help. I mean, I've done that too. So we sometimes neutral. Okay, I like that, Debbie Joan. Sometimes we fall in that bag of being either or, if or then. We just do. We said, well, if this situation happens, maybe I'll chip in and help, which is that F I talked about on Friday. The F being straight, and the if, the I of F being straight, and the actual F itself being curved over, because you got to think about it. You have to determine, is this what I should do? And so it rolls right into what no says. Can I get to know and not feel bad about it? Can I? Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we say yes and we meant no. We meant to say no, but we never get to it. And then my O, for my O, this is mine, I have opposition or opposed. I'm opposed to something. When you tell somebody no, they know that you've become oppositional, or you've taken a position that says, nope, can't do that. I'm opposed to wanting to be involved in that. And it says it's a contrast, or it's a conflict to what's been requested of you, but sometimes it puts a conflict in us. We just become conflicted because we can't make a decision that fits both of us, meaning they're okay with our no and we're okay with our no. And usually what happens is that they tell us that they're not, okay with the no that we gave them, and we are convinced that we need to say yes. How many of us have done it? Ordeal, opinion. And it is an opinion, Joan. It is. And sometimes it's a great ordeal for us to even make the slightest decision. Am I going? Am I not going? That's if. That's no. How do I get to know? Or if I want to say yes, and my family or somebody else has convinced me that I should say no. Sometimes we have side discussions with other people, and they're convincing you that either you should do it or you shouldn't do it. But I just know that this is that time of year where we will have to face ifs and we will have to face no's, and it may be how we roll into 2024 of feeling better about the decisions we made at the end of 2023. Good morning, Miss Rosie. How are you? Good to see you in the space. And I know Miss Rosie is a lover of being, she's a great cook. And so I know that she will be having some things that she's obligated to do. But how do you tell people that you don't want to do something this year? I tried to tell my daughter I didn't want to cook. And she said, well, I'll help. Well, that still means help sounds like it's assistance, huh? Y'all know what I'm talking about. And then when she's over, she's so at home that she's relaxed, a little too relaxed for me. I'm saying, well, when are you going to start this? So, but she knows I talk about her. She knows how much I love her. And so we're good with that. But for me to say I don't want to do it, that puts the opposition there. That puts where we're on opposite sides. We're opposed. And so opposed talks about it being contrasting and conflicting. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Maurice. How are you guys doing today? Nope, not today. I like that. Cheryl just retired. So everybody tell Cheryl, hey, happy retirement. But Cheryl just retired. And we celebrated her a little bit on Friday. She no longer is at her required job of being on her feet all day long. So we're happy that she can take a rest, and she can now say no to what she doesn't want to do and not feel any shame and have it in nobody's game that they have to even worry about it. It's like it's her decision. And we can always say that something is our decision. Good morning. Good morning, Jocelyn. Good morning, Irvin. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love you guys for coming in here. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to get to know and not feel guilty. But let's face it, some of us feel guilty. We don't want to disappoint anybody. And now I have a couple of friends, they don't give a kitty what you ask them to do. If they say is no, don't ask them no more. It is no, firm, fixed. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you guys for doing that. You love, yes, love it. Amen. But when we're opposed to somebody, they get real upset with us. How many of you have probably had, where people thought that their friendships fell apart because somebody said no? I don't let it bother me because it is what it is. I feel that everyone has a right to say yes or no to things, but to be forced or feel bad after you've said no, then it becomes the person's problem who wanted you to say yes. It's not your problem. It's not your problem. But anyway, when we look at what being opposed says, it says contrasting, or conflicting with each other. That's what we do. Sometimes we just have an out and out. We're polarized. They over there, I'm over here. That's why I don't talk about three things. I don't talk about politics. I'm not interested in weight. I'm not interested in religion. Unless you go to my church and you don't even know what I do. Okay. But that's me personally. He says, I've softened my nas with this phrase that doesn't work for me. I simply cannot at this time. And that's good. I mean, I think after a while you do learn how to give a presence that doesn't dismantle friendships or relationships of any kind, even in a workspace. If you're already obligated, like I know when I worked for the government, a lot of times I was only, one or two people deep. And if they're busy and I've already given things that they were busy with, then excuse me, I'm crazy. You can't ask me to do anything else. And I would deliver as much as I could, but I also laid out what was before me, so that I could clearly see in terms of what's in my suspense, what's in my have to do now. Suspense gives me a little leeway. Have to do now means I have to do it now, because it may mean money, especially if it's something that I was dealing with that was contractual. If you're contracting the government's money and overseeing it, then you have to be on point. So I would do that. Let's see. Ardelia says no is a complete sentence. That's right. That's what my teacher always used to say. She would always tell us, no, that's a complete sentence. Okay, done with it. Let's move on. She would always say, let's move on. And we did. But some people have trouble moving on. Says, I have no problem with saying nope. Had to learn to do that, but I'm good at it now. I'm better at it. I'm not great. Okay. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not great yet. And I probably will continue to tell people yes until I leave this earth. Only because I said sometimes our heart leads and our head follows. And so we get caught up in different things, with people, with projects, with positions. We get caught up in those things. And we don't realize that we've also lost a lot of time with ourselves. One of the things I think I talked about last week is I enjoy coming into my house and no one is calling me, needing me to do something. And it's just me. And sometimes I'm in here with just some light jazz on and I'm cool. I'm good. I'm not really a drinker. Every once in a while I have a glass of wine. That's about it. I enjoy my me time. Let's see. Good morning, Doctor. Hey, Tommy. I know I need to say no. You sure do. I know Tommy and John McCorvey and Tommy and their wife. They're just their wives, girlfriend. They're so busy. They are so busy. But then I think about myself. I'm probably equally as busy. It's just that I don't have a major, brick and mortar location to hang out at. But I'm busy. And sometimes Tommy and all of us have trouble just saying no. So when we have this opposing thing that goes on between you and the person or the situation or even the position that you said no to, it says that's when you realize that there's a major contrast. It's something that's almost contrary. They don't expect you. They don't expect you to say no, and the people could keep coming back. Like right now, people keep calling me about selling my house. Well, did I advertise I'm selling my house? So so now I'm suspicious. So I don't answer my house phone. It's really just there just in case the landline is working, but the cell phone towers are down. That's the only reason I keep it. But when we're opposed to stuff, it also says there's a difference in opinion, a difference in orientation, a difference in concern. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that right now. Don't ask me. But many of us can't even get to that. Why? Because we love people. We love them. And we lead with our heart. I'm going to keep saying that. We lead with our hearts. And so therefore, we have trouble. It says we're at odds with people when we say no. People expect you to say yes all the time. I think I'm hit up almost every week for will I support, give money to, give time to, volunteer to. And so we understand that when you're in business, certain amount of that is expected. But after a while, what's the bottom line? What's the bottom line for us as entrepreneurs or as just people? What's the bottom line? When do we get to our floor and said, no, we on no now? I know I tried to keep telling you no as I'm going down, but now that I'm down, I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to commit to something that I cannot support. So then when we talk about oppose, we also talk about it that we're not only at odds, but we're polarized. I'm every time I tell somebody no, it's almost like I'm apologizing in the same statement of no. It's like it's a full statement, even no by itself. But then I say, because I already am committed to. You see what I'm saying? We give an exclamation point, and then all of a sudden we give them an explanation. That's how we work, because we were always taught to be polite. Not my parents taught us that you can say no, but you have to say no, and then you follow it up with, well, my mom and dad already had me doing something, or I'll have to ask my mom and dad, which means it gave it a temporary no, but it was still placed in their concept that no was meant. No was meant. Then it talks about you having this incompatible thing going on with the fact that they want you to be there at, even on projects that I said I could do, sometimes I have to modify when I can do it. And I've met opposition sometimes with that as well. It's like, well, wait a minute, it starts at 5, but I can't be there to 6:30. I'm already obligated. Okay, well, we'll take it at 6:30. So they still take what you could give them. Okay. But you could have said no altogether and just went on home. Could have. It says, sometimes I might say, allow me to think about it, what you're asking of me. Okay, that's great. That's a good way of looking at, making it worth your conversation, so that they don't think it was a negative right off the bat, but just giving them time, to understand that you're obligated. Because I think that places things in perspective when you look at it like that. It also says that that you are opposite in such a way that people sometimes don't want you to ever be on a different side of them. They don't, like I asked her and she said, but she's obligated. Like I would always try to explain things to people, but she's already has something to do. Yeah, but I think that she should stop this and stop that and do what this is much more important. And let's face it, people always think that what they're doing is important. I don't care who they are, including me. I think what I'm doing is important. So if I'm asking people to come help me, then I'm probably needing you. But I also understand that if you told me no, I'm not going to keep bothering you. You will not have you're not going to have that. It says, so sorry to leave early. My client is here. Okay, thanks, Irvin, for stopping in. I appreciate you. Come on back again, okay? Love you now. But anyway, we have to do that in such a way that it makes it understood that we are who we are, and sometimes our decisions, if we stand on them and we're consistent in our stance, then people will believe us and won't try us. But if we're wishy-washy and say, well, give me, I'm they're gonna come back. And say, oh man, I want to help you. And then that means you almost open the door again. It's not all the way open, okay? But it's ajar. It's not all the way open, but you left room for a foot to come on in there. And they said, well, Sandy, that's how we live our lives. That's how we live our lives. So no is very difficult. It is very difficult to do. But with the holidays coming up, I just wanted to look at these small words that have big implication and meaning to us. If on Friday and no today. Okay. I want to do is, but y'all tell me if you want me to do is. But my point is this, is that everybody wants your time and your money and your actual, doing something during this period of the holiday season. Don't get yourself used up. Don't be so tired that when you're ushering out 2023, going into 24, that you left it open where everybody understood you to always be there and able and willing. Sometimes you can be able and not willing, or not able and trying to be placed in a will position. Don't do it. Do what is expected of you, feeling you, not just your heart. Ask your head, what should I be doing here? We just have to pay attention to life going forward. Watch out for scammers. Oh yes, yeah, they're into it. That's a big thing right now. Where everything is like you only have so many minutes to say yes to this. And one of the things it does say that, and in fact, I think I heard it on Good Morning America last week, is that scammers are out too, but anytime it gives you a time clock, especially if you're on the internet, like Facebook or any of those things where ads are purchased, it says clearly that you have to watch out for that, because that is an indication that it could be a scam, because why would you only have a few minutes to buy something? Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Not necessary, or go someplace else and buy it. And that's what I did yesterday. And in fact, I'm going to tell you all this. I'm going to let you go. I'm having a garage sale on Saturday, and I'm so excited about it because, I tell y'all what I'm doing. And one of the things I said is that I'm going through and just getting rid of things that I purchased and things that I did storage the other day, and talking about things that were in storage for a long time, and realizing that I don't need all that stuff. It's just, stuff. The memories that we have of what we did and who we did it with, those remain with us. But the items that supposedly jar our memories and all that kind of stuff, keep a couple of them, few of them. After that, let them go. Let them go. Say no to keeping them. So I'm having fun on Saturday, and I advertised it on Facebook. So if you're in the area and want to stop on by. I will have clothes and nice clothes. I have some clothes and some jewelry and several things that I think you all can use. No, I all of a sudden got tickled in my throat. But anyway, I will see you. I will see you on Wednesday, and I'm not working Friday this week because it will take me all I can do to get myself together come Saturday morning at 8. So I won't be doing Friday this week. And then next week, I will only do Monday. And you all let me know if you want me to do Wednesday, because Wednesday is cooking day. And, a lot of times people don't have any time to be listening to anybody. But anyway, I'm gonna do Wednesday for sure this week, Monday of next week, and then it's tentative for next week's Wednesday, and for sure I'm out on Friday of this week. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Think about the word no. Be prepared to say it if you know you mean it, and don't back up on it. Okay? If there's opposition, let it be opposition. I ain't coming. I'm not doing that. No, I won't be there. Okay? Love you guys. I see you soon. Blessings to all. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Love you. Pass this on. You don't have to do anything else. No money. Send it out as a share. I appreciate you. Thanks. Bye-bye.